Hello and welcome to my walkthrough of World and Conflict. This is Toby Silverstone for Britrinity, and this is World and Conflict. Set during the Cold War, the Cold War's gone hot, and Russia have invaded Europe and America. What you're currently looking at is the opening few seconds of a multiplayer game, which I'm going to walk you through. So with multiplayer, you pick your sides. The sides are automatically picked. You pick basically your role. So you have artillery, air support, tanks, and infantry. As you can see, I'm going to start with a bit of helicopter support. So I've got 4 helicopter gunships. 3 of them are heavy helicopters, so designed for anti-tank. One is a light and medium one, so that's designed for taking out helicopters and tanks. As you see, I've sort of gone a bit spazzy and gone straight for the enemy, and are getting murdered because that thing in front of you, as you can see, is an artillery. Well, I just blew it up, but it was an anti-aircraft gun. And yes, that is a helicopter flying out the sky. I'm screwed. And there goes my second one. And, of course, there goes my last one. And there we go. World and Conflict, as you can see, is a very pretty game. Admittedly, I've had to turn a few of the options down to make sure I can record properly. And, of course, that's me a bit spazzing out and not really remembering how to switch roles. And as you can see there, I had my different roles. So I decided this time to play infantry. And the reason for this, of course, is that infantry are a lot more mobile and a lot more agile than helicopters. They're not as powerful as helicopters, of course, but with the fact that they have multiple weapons per troop squad, if you go with the basic ones, they're quite good. And of course, when you select your troops, you have to select a designated landing point. There is no bases or building of bases or anything like that. There are these smoke grenade landing points. And so your troops are dropped into the battlefield. They can't actually be attacked on the way down, but hell, it still looks pretty. And yes, as you can see, the troops have multiple weapons. You've got machine guns, rocket launchers, both anti-tank and anti-air. And the trick of this game is to use the roles properly. Now, in this multiplayer game, as you can see, we're pretty much spazzing out and just fighting anywhere. Because I should really explain what you're actually meant to do in this version. This is called Domination. And what you have to do is that top bar at the top. It's sort of like Battlefield, you know, sort of capture the flag. It's more like capture the control points. The more you capture, the faster the enemy flag retreats to the left or the right, depending on if you're the Soviets, which is the left-hand flag, or the European Union in this case, which is the right-hand flag. As you can see, I'm moving my troops into cover, which is the trees. Now this actually does have an advantage. The disadvantage, of course, is that being troops, they're slow, and I just got attacked by an artillery barrage. So I've decided to call in a few extra troops, and this time I'm thinking, hold on, let's be a bit more sensible about it. So I'm going to call in my troops, and I'm going to try and call in some armoured vehicles from, but of course I don't have any requisition, which is how you get troops, and that's the top right hand thing. Now this that I've opened up though on the other hand is a menu for special, you know, stuff. So you've got artillery, bombardments, nuclear weapons, all sorts of things. As you can see, of course, my opponents have decided to try their hand at thing, and that marker there, the exclamation mark, is one of my friends telling me that they want some help there, and that other marker next to it is a napalm strike. Well, actually, sorry, chemical strike, because we're playing as Russia, who don't have napalm. And there it goes. Although, sadly, the enemy have dropped a few helicopters to take out the troops that were going to reinforce that position, but hell, it happens.
Acknowledged. Get go! Sprint to the destination.
So, as you can see, the troops are moving up to the front line, and of course the difficulty with moving them like that is that they're quite nice and open. But luckily for me, one of my friends, I can't tell if it's a smoke screen or a chemical screen and what they thought was an enemy, but whatever, they've cleared out the forest and I'm quite safe. Or at least it appears that way. As you can see, I'm going to move my troops out of the forest, but hold on a second, I've just spotted some enemy troops in the forest. Now the trick is you can hide in forest, so these troops, as you can see, I'm attacking now. And I'm doing quite a bit of damage. And the thing I should point out though is that as the troops, even though the troops look different and they have different weapons, you know, these ones are on with what looks like Carl Gustav anti-tank launchers. They're actually not any different. They're the exact same. They work the same. They're the same amount of health, same amount of points, and that's one of the biggest problems with this game is that everything is the same. You know, the M1 Abrams and the T-72, for those that are military buffs, know that they're not the same. You know, and in game terms, what they are is the exact same tank, which is a bit annoying. But hell, you know, what are you going to do about it? So now I move my troops up to try and take the position that my allies have tried to take before. But of course, as you're going to see, I get absolutely hammered again. So it all starts pretty much when this mate of mine captures one of the control points. There are multiple control points per control area. And of course, the enemy seeing this have now launched a devastating artillery barrage at my troops, and I am absolutely dead. So let's try this one last time. We head back to the reinforcement point, get some troops, and then I realise actually I'll sell a couple of them, stop, I won't request them, and I'll request 2 armoured transports instead. So this is really just a taste of what World and Conflict is. I'm going to do a couple more really in-depth games soon. This is more just a, you know, here's what it is, here's how it looks, and this is what you can do. And as my troops drop into the battlefield, you will of course see the animation for the the plane that drops them in. I'm going to load them up into these transports. And I'm going to try and send them off to the battlefield, or at least I think. But as you're about to see, I'm about to lose this map, because of course at the top you can see that the Russian flag is almost gone. I'm Toby Silverstone, this has been World and Conflict, and I'm about to get my arse handed to me for the final time. And there you go, thanks for watching, good night.